So yeah. Hi Jagdish. I'll be taking your
Yeah.
interview. And before we start, let me tell about myself, and then we will start further. Correct. So I have been working with this particular organization since 8 years, and my team usually work on the DevOps related things. Like we used to work on the AWS cloud, and we are all using EKS cluster, like the Kubernetes services we are leveraging through the AWS EKS, and we are also using CI/CD part. And for that, we are using this Jenkins and the GitHub Actions both. And for the infrastructure provisioning, recently we have come up with the Terraform things. And my completely team is working on the DevOps related things. We do have the multiple customers like dealing in the different segments, like your food segment, and some of our customers are in the IT sectors as well. So that is all about me and my team. Let me know about yourself as well.
Myself, Jagdish Siddhaya, finished my master's in Europe in International Technology Transfer Management, master's in Industrial Engineering. So I do have around 4 to 6 years of overall experience. When it comes to DevOps and AWS, I do have 4 years. My day-to-day activities were like building a CI/CD pipeline and automating the CI/CD pipeline and building a application by using Elastic Kubernetes, like automation deployment and uh, automating the infrastructure provisions by using Terraform. And but recently we have into the Terraform. I don't have much exposure on Terraform, to be honest. And we used a few of the AWS services like VPC, EC2, RDS, EBS, EFS, and CloudWatch and CloudFront. And presently, I moved back to India and looking for an opportunity here itself.
Okay, that's great. So if I talk about your day, like how you start your day on the daily basis and how you started today itself,
Like an organization, like you're talking about.
you can talk about anything, whatever you want.
Like we used to take I didn't get. Could you please repeat your question?
How do you start your day on the daily basis, or if you are working somewhere right now, how do you start your day?
Like presently, like when it comes to like presently, I'm applying the jobs. Like looking at some, I'm doing research on like updates with the AWS blogs and YouTube
Hmm.
logs related to AWS and DevOps. And I look into the naukri, and then I'll update every day in the morning at 7 to 8 a.m. And then I upload my CV with the Naukri portal and other like LinkedIn and Indeed.
Okay.
So and then normally I'll get a calls like 1 or 2, maybe like 4 to 5 in a week. It depends on Monday. Like usually it will be very less, and when Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday it would be more.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and I'll start studying on the demo part of the AWS and DevOps and and then I'll switch to like afternoon. I'll just switch to the basics, and then I'll revise the things. So this is how it goes my day.
Okay, that's great. So if I talk about rating yourself on the Kubernetes part, how much will you rate?
Out of five, I would say like three.
Okay, that's good. So suppose I have a customer, like for our organization where we are working, I have a customer who has opened his food business, like the restaurant itself. And for his restaurant, he wants to have a website, correct? So that he can multiply his marketing things and as customers can order from his restaurant. For that, he wants to build an website, and the code has been already written. He has like contacted freelancing developers, and they have written down the code. Now, as a DevOps engineer, what kind of help you can suggest to that particular businessman? Like as a
So
DevOps
if
engineer, what can you do? Yeah,
yeah, being a DevOps engineer, like development and operation with colliding,
yeah.
it becomes DevOps. And by getting the like developer code from the Git source, like source code management as a Git. So we build a like CI/CD pipeline as a Jenkins I use, and then we use like Docker and the Kubernetes for container orchestration platforms. And then and then we will by using Helm chart, we will integrate and deploy. We will deploy the application in the Kubernetes, like EKS,
Okay.
and we use like Prometheus and Grafana for the monitoring services. And depending on the user, like a live traffic user and all, we will make sure the deployment strategies according to the need.
Okay, that's great. So just suppose for the same application, if I talk about that, it's a kind of simple application, correct? Just 100 lines of code is written there. And I have to choose between the EC2 and the Lambda. So in which scenario I'll be selecting the EC2 to deploy my application, and in which scenario I can choose Lambda function to deploy the same application.
Suppose if I say in simple word, it's like EC2 is a for the long, like ECT means like for the long term. Suppose if you have your own car, you have to maintain everything like server, like uh, the storage part and everything you have to maintain. Whereas in Lambda, you don't have to maintain everything. Like it's a serverless architecture. It's like in like renting a Ola cab in for the shortcut distances. Like whereas in EC2, it's like our own vehicle, so we can go as far as you wish. So the like if you go for as long as you go, the cost is also will be more. So for the short term, short driven tasks, we can use Lambda, whereas in EC2, we can use it for the longer.
Okay. What do you understand by DevOps?
Yeah, DevOps is a like integrating all the development and operations
Mhm.
uh, by securely and the day to day like instead of like it's all about automation. Instead of doing a manual stuff, we can automate the infrastructure by using DevOps,
Okay.
and it reduces the manual intervention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, as you shared that it's the kind of integration. So, does DevOps include integration part only, or is there anything specific that we can talk about the DevOps?
Like we can do integration and also we can do delivery and also we can do deployment
Okay, that's good. So
and
suppose
also
I have a one Nginx pod which is running, correct? Or you can say one application pod which is running. And for that, I want that whenever I hit any particular URL, my app.com in my browser, that traffic should go to this particular pod. So how will you set up all the things so that whenever you hit my app.com in your browser, either Chrome or any of the browser, that request should go up to this particular pod. So how will you set up all these things?
like Kubernetes, like it provides service, like you can like port to service, like we can access the your application from the URL, like which it provides like a whereas in ingress controller, which provides HTTP and HTTPS support and host and path based routing. From
Mhm.
there, we will be having the load balancer, so which will routes the like there will be network policies that will route the traffic to the particular port. In the pod, there will be containers, like one or more containers. They share the network and the storage.
What
So
what service type you will use here?
we can use like ingress controller. We can use load balancer.
Yeah, ingress controller is a kind of resource you can say which routes your traffic to the different ingress based on the rules. So we used to create service files as well, if you are aware of. So whenever you create a deployment file also, you create a service through which you tell that this particular request will go to this particular pod.
Particular
So
port, yeah.
yeah, there are certain types of service which we use to create cluster IP and others. So in
Cluster
this,
IP, node port, and load balancer.
yeah, so I was talking about the load balancer service type that you need to create here to make it accessible from the browser.
Yeah.
That you, yeah, you can use this Route 53 as well to map the DNS, AWS Route 53. Okay. So talking about the services, AWS services, you mentioned that you have worked. So what all services you have worked with the AWS?
Like EC2, VPC, CloudWatch, CloudFront, and CloudTrail,
Okay.
IAM row, IAM.
Okay. So what do you understand by the NSCL?
Like network access control list, which is a firewall at the uh, subnet level. Like there will be inbound and outbound traffic. On
Mhm.
the priority basis, we can like mention the outbound traffic.
Okay. So if I have to implement this security group and NSCL, So what will I choose, and where should I choose out of these two options? Like I have
If it
a
is instance
server.
level,
Hmm.
yeah, if it is the instance level server, like we can use security group. NACL, we charge the like extra layer security for the instance at the subnet level.
Okay. Any differences between these two apart from this? Like NSCL is applied on the subnet and security group is applied on the EC2. Is there any other difference between these two?
Like security inbound rules we can mention, but whereas like in security groups we can mention the inbound rules, where when it comes to the outbound it will be like all traffic like 0.0.bar 0 we can give, whereas
Okay.
in like NACL we have to prioritize according to the need.
Okay. Yeah. There is a concept of allow and deny as well. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, there are few parameters as well. That's the difference between your security groups and the NSCL. Okay. So, talking about like your application code, whatever you write. So, what kind of branching strategy do you follow currently?
Like like there will be a main branch and the future branch.
Hmm.
Like suppose Volo, like if I say like Volo cab, like cab Ubers, it will be like a main branch. In that, if I want to add any like bike or anything, so I'll take that particular main branch from that application code from that main branch, and then I'll create a other feature branch, and I'll do like staging and
Hmm.
hot fixing, and I'll pre-production and testing. After that, after all the tests done, and I'll try to like merge with the main branch so that user can use both like cabs and also the right
Okay.
bikes.
Okay. That's cool. So, how do you work on your assigned tasks? Like how task is assigned to your current organization, and how do you start working on that particular task which is assigned to you?
Like if in the basically they will more focus on the production level debuggings, so
Hmm.
it will goes on the Fibonacci number basis.
Okay.
So like 135 on that basis. So we'll more give into the production usage. So if, excuse me, if
Hmm.
it is something goes wrong with the like pod eviction or the pod resource constraint more resources, or if it is crash to backup or the image pull backup. So we will look into the pod logs and the pod particular, we will describe the pods, and then we will take action according to the need.
Okay. So, what kind of troubleshooting
That's the
commands
basic.
you will use for the investigation? If you get like 403 error code, so what kind of troubleshooting command you will be using that?
Like for that, we can use kubectl describe ports and the port name,
Hmm. Any
and
other
we can use
commands?
like kubectl ports and the port,
Okay.
and kubectl logs and the port name.
Okay. So suppose I'm hitting this particular URL, myapp.com in my browser, and I got this 403 as a error code. So what kind of possible causes which are resulting this into 403?
Maybe the port which are assigned in the security group is not configured properly, like port number 80 HTTP. So that is the reason maybe.
Okay. Any other reason?
Other reason might be maybe the health of that particular instance is not, maybe it might be unhealthy.
Okay. Any other
Yeah.
you can think of apart from these two?
Mm, Maybe the routes in the route table which is not configured,
Yeah, that also might be the reason. Okay. So how do you manage your infrastructure?
like Terraform,
Yes.
HCL, like Ashika configuration language.
Hmm. So,
Basically, it's a declarative
yeah.
approach.
Okay, that's good. So, like, can you explain me the folder structure or like the complete workflow, how your Terraform modules are written and how these are being called? So, like, if I have to create VPC and few number of servers on for my application deployment for the customer, so what's the strategy you are following to store the state file, to create your modules, to call the modules and provision the complete infrastructure? So, can you explain it from the beginning up to the end?
suppose if I want to, or if I'm creating freshly, I'll go with the like provider. Providers are like we have like AWS, GCP, and Azure. So
Mhm.
we will be mention the block like provider in the provider block as like AWS. In that we have to give the like AWS configuration ID like access key and secret key and uh, other one. Yeah. And then we have to mention the resources like VPC. We have to mention and we have to mention the name of the like if you want to give any VPC name, and then we have to mention the CIDR block and subnets and
What's the
route
use
tables
what's the use of
entries.
modules in the Terraform?
Like we can do it for versioning and also we can reuse it.
Okay. Have you created any module and utilized it for multiple infrastructure creation?
No, sir, to be honest.
Okay, that's cool. How do we keep a state file in the Terraform? Like just suppose that I have created my VPC, correct? And after some time, someone deleted this VPC manually from the AWS console itself. Now, if you run the Terraform pipeline again, correct? You have already written the script, you have created the infrastructure, and someone deleted it manually on the AWS console side. So, if you run the pipeline again, what will happen here?
Basically, like state file is like which will like compare the actual infrastructure with the desired one. In
Mhm.
case someone is deleted, someone suppose if you apply Terraform apply, it will again spin up the VPC.
So you say that it will again create the VPC, correct? That means two VPC will be there with the same name. Is it so?
No, suppose VPC is there. If you create from the AWS console, I think it won't create again, I guess.
Okay, so what I mentioned in the question that
Mhm.
just suppose that I have created demo underscore VPC. That's my VPC name that I have created with the Terraform script itself. Tomorrow, one of my team colleague went into the AWS console. He had the access to like admin kind of access. He deleted that particular VPC manually. It's by mistake, correct? And then I was not aware of, and I ran the pipeline again to provision something new apart from the VPC. VPC was there. Now I was trying to build the EC2, but VPC in actual it was deleted from the AWS console. So what kind of action my pipeline will take? Either it will fail or it will succeed. It will create the infrastructure. That means VPC again, or what will be the behavior of the pipeline? That I was.
Like, suppose if we are the concurrent users, we can state remotely, we can store the state file
Mhm.
by using the DynamoDB logging mechanism so that it avoids like conflicts like this, like concurrent users. If someone nobody wants to access and delete the stuff, so it won't, it will help in that such scenario, like state logging mechanism.
Okay. So, if your pipeline is failing, correct? Suppose that you are running your production pipeline and some of the jobs are running in the late night, and sometimes your pipeline is also failing. So, you want to set up a notification kind of thing for like whenever pipeline fails, you get your a notification either on the Gmail or anywhere that you can integrate with the Slack or somewhere. So, how will you set up this notification related things for your
Like in the
pipeline?
Jenkins, we have like a mail notification stuff. In that, we have to mention the mail like receiver,
Mhm.
even if the well, if the build fails or success, so that you will get the notification with some protocols, SMTP servers.
Okay. Can you give me the syntax of the Jenkins pipeline? Like what kind of pipeline you have written in your organization?
Like declarative, like pipeline, like Jenkins, like pipeline, any like we use like agents. In
Mhm.
that we have to mention the like stages, steps and the stages and building. Like we have to check out the code from the Git source, like big mentioning the branch name of the particular, like if it is a main branch or the infra, and then URL of the particular Git repository. And then we have to check out that. After that, we have to like if you use any Java or JDK based application, we have to mention the Maven package, and then we have to build like by using the Docker build hyphen T and the latest image with the dot, and then we have to deploy that by using Kubernetes,
Okay.
kubectl apply hyphen F, and then pod.yaml or deployment.yaml.
Okay. That's great. So, just suppose that you are trying to run some of the commands on your Linux server and your server is not responding. So, what can be the possible causes and what steps you can take to troubleshoot this?
If server is not responding, means I have to go check with the security groups, and also if the resources are like full, like if it is full, like CPU and memory utilization is full, and I have to check that part. If it is like unused parts, we can delete such things.
What command
And
will you use to check on the memory and the processor side?
edge top or top we can use.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and yeah. So
Mhm.
and then I'll check into the particular EVS root volumes whether it is like occupied more, or we have to like we can add extra like mount on that particular Linux server.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you see multi-stage Docker file?
Like multi-stage Docker building, which is mainly for the like surface, like it helps to reduce the cost, and also which will reduce the size, image size by around 800%. We can use like alpha-line images from the Docker base image to the second stage of the Docker file, and then it reduces the security risk, so it will be more secure since the image size is less. So and it is more efficient, and also performance wise is good.
Okay. Any major challenges that you have faced working as a DevOps engineer, and what kind of learning you have received out of that?
Like being a non-IT guy, I was switching from non-IT to IT. It was quite challenging and very tough. So initially, I was facing a lot of challenges, like by learning the like basic commands and switching into the DevOps architecture, like Git, Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes, and taking care of the CI/CD pipeline and the Kubernetes production issues and debugging factors. And yeah, so
Okay. So you talked about the Git. So I have another question as well related to the Git itself. So suppose that I'm developing code for my application itself or for any like any Python script you are writing. You have developed the things on your local system and now you want to publish it for the GitHub repository that you have created or your organization have. So what steps you will take to push it from your local system to the GitHub repository?
if you don't mind, could you please repeat your question? I just got blank.
Yeah, no issue. So you have developed your code on your local system, on your Visual Studio Code or any other ID that you are using. Now you have your organization repo, correct? Where you have to push the code changes, whatever you have developed on your local system to the GitHub repository. So what kind of steps you will take here to push the changes from local to the repository?
Like local to like remote means like we can use git push and the repository name.
Okay, that's cool. What will be your first command here?
Like you're talking about the git stage life cycle.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have to initial first we have to create a directory,
Mm-hmm,
and then inside the directory we have to create the git initialization
mm-hmm,
so that it will create a repo inside that. So in that, so that yeah, after creating Git in it, we have to do staging, like Git staging. It will be come to the index area, and then we can add Git add and dot, so that it will add. So if you want to do any commits like Git commit -m, so that it will save the changes into the particular commit ID,
mm-hmm.
and then after that we can push to the like with the repository like Git push and repository name.
Okay. Yeah, here you can start with your git status and then git add dot then git commit. So these are the four commands: git status, git add dot, which will add your whatever the local changes you have made that will it will add on your local system. That's called as a staging area. Then you can use this git commit, whatever the message you need to pass, and then git push. So these are the four commands to push the code changes from your local to the GitHub repository. It's after that you if you have still already already created your directory and you have done the initialization part. You are already developing the code, correct? So then you need to start with the git status and moving forward you can go with the three commands. Have you worked with the Lambda function as well?
No, sir, to be honest.
Okay, no issue.
Yeah.
So if I say, apart from this technical stuff, so if I say that, how can you sell yourself to so that I can hire you? Like if I have to take the 10 interviews, what I am taking up, correct? And I have to select you. So what should I look into you that you are the best candidate for this particular role and you need to be hired?
Like I hope the my soft skills and the tools and technologies that you are expecting, I hope I can meet your expectation with the tools. And that is one thing. And I'm like flexible with everything, like with the team members, like and also communications. And also I'm like team member, like I can be like I can say like I can be casual with the people, and also like uh, I I'm like more effective in when it comes to workaholic.
Okay.
So these are the qualities I can say.
Okay, that's great. It was nice interacting with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.